pay no attention to the man. The man is not here for you. The man is not here for them either. The man stands and is simply there. He is not high up, nor low down. He seems, if anything, to be on a hill. How he got there, and who the man is, perhaps more importantly, what the man represents, well, that's a story in and of itself. And that's the story I'm about to tell you. Welcome to Case File 2911666. There's a man.
There's a man who stands upon a hill, looking down to the people he has killed, and it's only one by one.
This mystery was started by a user named Arthur Bogushev, who heard the song on Ukrainian radio. And this mystery would actually be actively investigated on the Find My Mind server, the Dance for Hours a Day server, and YouTube, which is something to remember for later. It's probably also worth noting that this song would be one of several Lostwave songs mentioned by Lost Media, Lostwave, and general nerd YouTuber Shy Valley, link in the description below, which would bring additional attention to it. We didn't really know where to start, so we started by theorizing, which can actually help drive a search. For example, on the Dance for Hours a Day server, the Dresden Dolls guy thought this sounded distinctly Australian, for example. However, over on the FMM server, others would suggest everything from British to American, and point out a Reddit comment suggesting it sounded Hungarian. Zero the Hero, aka Q, was fairly confident that the title of the song wasn't in the lyrics that we had. User Arizona pointed out a band called A Witness that had been mentioned on the Lostwave subreddit, who some felt sounded somewhat similar. However, they fairly quickly confirmed that it wasn't them, though they were also confident that this was a British band. And of course, not only was the song big enough to earn a channel on the FMM Discord, but big enough for server owner DefyJoe to cover it, which I heartily recommend listening to. Again, link in the description below. It was also DefyJoe who would step in with his own knowledge base as a musician as well as a Brit. And again, to reiterate, this was definitely a British band and likely from between 2002 and 2014. And he was right. Because not long after that, the song was solved. Because Hazard Blast would point out this comment on YouTube by user TrippyDrew8492. TrippyDrew had used some YouTube search modifiers, much in the same way that Dan Peggy had found Kenya Dance. And if that's a solve you'd like to hear about, let me know in the comments below. Boy, that was quick. But in some cases, the best part of these searches are not what happens in the searches themselves, but what comes after, and that'd be the case here, too. I mean, first off, let's be clear. The solve came out of nowhere, and there were numerous people who were in disbelief that some random YouTuber had solved this out of nowhere. Of course, we also had questions, like how this would wind up on a Ukrainian radio station. And our solver, TrippyDrew, also known as PokeDrew, would show up in both the Dance for Hours a Day server as well as the Find My Mind server. TrippyDrew explained that he had just searched for what the lyrics seemed to be emphasizing with a modifier before 2013. So of course the next natural step would be to see if we could contact the band. It really is one of the best parts of solving a Lostwave song, but it can be challenging, as it was in this case, as all the band members had fairly common names. In the meantime, we were able to get a high quality copy from the defunct mp3.com. Luckily there are data hoarders out there that had backups of it before it went under. We also found their MySpace, but again, long dead website and not of much help. Sveta found a bassist and sent him a message. And we tried to look for David, the lead vocalist, who also seemed to be the primary promoter of The Defended. We were also able to reach back out to the original poster, Arthur, who was happy to learn his sample had been solved. And Dan Peggy congratulated TrippyDrew, with Peggy himself in disbelief that the Kenya Dance strategy had worked for this song as well. And we also got in touch with the YouTuber who had uploaded the video that TrippyDrew had found, and they were able to provide a bit more background on The Defended. Then we heard back from David, the lead vocalist of Defended, and this is where the story really becomes uniquely interesting. David provided official lyrics to start. Then he provided additional details, including that the Defended broke up because they lived far apart from each other and they recorded 3 EPs. In the meantime, David also joined the Dance for Hours a Day server. He mentioned that he didn't know the song was online, nor did he have any idea how this wound up on Ukrainian radio. Oh, and we learned that this song wasn't about John Wick, which a user had theorized, but instead about the Grim Reaper. And this is where things get heartwarming, because our discovering Man on a Hill caused the band to reminisce and create a group chat amongst themselves. This song also quickly got added to YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and all those other streaming services. The Defended also set up social media for themselves, including Instagram. Heck, the song was notable enough that it even got covered in the local Glasgow newspaper. The Defended then started to upload other songs aside from Man on a Hill, like a song called Weekenders, and it's worth noting that the YouTube upload of this song finished with quotes from numerous Lostwave community members talking about The Defended, which is really sweet and it's kind of an honor. And it was at this point that the third member of The Defended also joined the Dance for Hours a Day server. Fraser, I may not be pronouncing that right. He also discussed how great it was to have reconnected with the rest of the band. In fact, as the band reconnected, Dave and Scott both seemed to lightly joke about a potential reunion. Dave also discussed continuing to work to get as many historical songs and performances by The Defended online as possible, seriously going the extra mile to solidify The Defended as one of the most involved artists in the Lostwave community. And that was the end of The Defended on the Dance for Hours a Day server, because Dance for Hours a Day made a conscious decision to merge with On My Mind, a choice I was part of, and it was a tough decision, but also the right decision. Unfortunately, there were some security issues that plagued the Lostwave community at the time. Bad actors that unfortunately caused every member of The Defended to outright leave the Discord entirely. These bad actors, though now mostly a thing of the past, had caused problems before, and here again was an unfortunate example of the damage they could do. Of course, The Defended would still continue to be awesome off Discord, including re-releasing their EP Boys, Girls, Broken Hearts, which had Man on a Hill as one of its tracks. And then, remember that lighthearted joke about getting back together? Turns out, it really wasn't a joke after all, and the band did in fact get back together, which was honestly amazing to see. This led to them recording a new song called Girl with No Name, which started with them figuring out harmonies. They also released a new song called Back for More, their first new song in over a decade. Things kept going when, in part due to new security measures and a growing mod team, David from The Defended returned to the FMM Discord. They also did an interview with fellow Lostwave YouTuber Jordy2X, link in the description below. And yet again, The Defended showed how dedicated they are to our community by doing a live question and answer on the Find My Mind server with song solver TrippyDrew, moderated by, well, the mod team. Here's a few clips of that Q&A.
So yeah, I really want to know how it was for you guys when you sort of found out that TrippyDrew had identified and there was this huge search going on for this song that was completely unknown. What was it like to sort of realize how many people were into that?
Yeah, we've just really been trying to block TrippyDrew ever since. Just trying to keep him away from us. Nah, I'm joking. This question comes up a lot, and I think Scott's always the best to answer it. He was the one who initially got the initial contact. So, Scott, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, so the very first morning it happened, I was leaving to go to work. Got an email from someone. I wish I remember where it was from, but it was someone in the States. And basically asked if I was in The Defended and asked if we sung the song Man on a Hill. And I immediately thought either someone had hacked me or David was playing a trick on me or something.
Yeah, well, we've always felt like a sort of duty of like not so much that we owe it to people, but we kind of do. Like, we were just going to our job on a normal day until this song happened, and it's because of all the people, in this server and on the Lostwave server and the r/there's a man that we even have the facilities to sit and write music and put songs out and make videos and it's because of all of these people and that we feel like these people are as much a part of it as we are.
The link to the whole Q&A, which is on the fairly new Find My Mind YouTube channel, can be found in the description below. And for those wondering, as a Find My Mind mod, I have a symbiotic relationship with that channel. My own videos will continue here, but you may also see me, as well as other staffers, pop up on that channel from time to time. Then, months after we saw its literal inception, we saw the final version of Girl with No Name be formally released on The Defended's YouTube channel. You owe it to yourself to watch it. Seriously, watch it. Link, of course, is in the description below. Honestly, The Defended reuniting, recording new music, and becoming and remaining active in the Lostwave community has to be one of the coolest stories. and all based off of an incredibly quick solve, which again proves the point: no solve is a small solve. You never know what it might lead to. You know, I wonder something. Given how cool David is, I wonder if he'd be game to do something for me.
He is person of distraction, and now he is listening to...
Close enough.
There's a man who stands above a grave, looking down to a woman he couldn't save, and his life's been put on hold. And he will make or break your day to run and look the other way. You gotta listen to what he says, and he will send you up or down. Don't matter if you break your neck or drown. You gotta listen to what he says.